Game 4 about to begin for Team Canada and Team Czechoslovakia. Wayne Gretzky, that hand healing day by day, takes the draw, and the puck goes to the Czechoslovakian zone. After defenseman Frank Musil attempts to clear, Team Canada swarming. Gretzky in behind. Larmer in pursuit now. Falling in behind the play as it comes over on the left side. But it's a pass over 2 lines. They'll whistle that down and have a face-off at the Czechoslovakian blue line.
Starting for goal in Canada, and certainly not a surprise, the stand-up style to Bill Ranford. He'll be making his 4th consecutive start for Team Canada. And for the Czechoslovakian team, Dominik Hasek on the left. Now, we said that Bill Ranford's a stand-up styled goaltender. Well, Hasek is not. He flops, he dives, he does everything, but generally stops the puck. He's got great numbers, especially in international hockey.
Gretzky's got Larmer and Corson with him. It's Reichel with Kastic and Jágr for the Czechoslovakian team. That's Yuri Slager, Czechoslovakian defenseman, being bothered by Corson. Coffey from the point. Wrist one that sails off target. Delayed penalty is in effect here as the referee, Dennis LaRue of the United States, has his arm raised, indicating it'll go against the Czechs whenever they regain possession. But Canada's Gretzky trying to flip it in front. They jam it there. Czechoslovakia intercepts, and that penalty will now go into effect. High sticking call against the Czechs. Canada goes to the power play. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV. Yuri Slager gets a high sticking penalty just 39 seconds into the game, so Canada puts the power play on the ice. Eric Lindros is out there along with Paul Coffey and Dale Howard-Chuck, Al McInnes, and Russ Courtnall.
Gives Slager 19 minutes in penalties so far in the tournament. The boos start to sound now as Lindros takes his first shift.
He digs it back to Coffey, having won the faceoff. McInnes to his right, lets it go right out. Hasek down to smother it and force a stoppage of play.
Don, I think right now Team Canada looking at Hasek, they may have to think about shooting high. He likes to drop down a lot. Lindros, boy, oh boy, it's everywhere we go in this province. They talk about Eric Lindros. His father's gone on record saying he will not go there to Quebec to play, and it's become a political issue on top of everything else.
He wins another faceoff. Howard-Chuck chasing Kuchera in the corner. McInnes keeping it alive for Team Canada. Cross to Coffey. Coffey tried to feed in the slot to Lindros. Will slap it from the point, and it's deflected wide by Howard-Chuck. Lindros leaves it for Howard-Chuck. Now scrapes it around to Courtnall. Courtnall endeavors to center, getting some pressure against the boards from the Czechs. Gudas in there defending, pushing with Lindros. Coffey waiting back on the point, but now backpedals as the Czechs bring it out. Jelinek giving it away to Courtnall. Lindros with him, and Coffey. Here's Coffey shooting wide. All the way back to center ice and comes into Canada's zone as the Czechs change.
Paul Coffey with a good play to break the play up and turn into offense with a man advantage. The play nearly clicked.
Here's Canada on the power play looking for a 4th fast start in this Canada Cup Series. Coffey left point, Courtnall on the boards takes the pass. A minute left now in the penalty. Here's Coffey. One man back on the point. Now McInnes, top of the face-off circle, fakes the shot, then lets it go. Howard-Chuck rebounded. Oh, somehow they kept that one out. Howard-Chuck from point-blank range was robbed. McInnes recovering from Wyszynski. Team Canada changing with 37 seconds left now in the penalty. Pass behind Larmer, but it rolls down to the Czechoslovakian corner. Jurgis Bacho with it. He clears.
Don, that last scoring chance for Team Canada, Hasek was out of the net and down. That tells you about him. He doesn't have a set style. He'll chase you all over the zone. If the Canadians are patient, they'll get to him.
Here's Coffey breaking in, dumps it in front. It's loose. Corson just missed on the short side. Larmer tries to center it out. Digs it off a skate. Czechoslovakia with 5 seconds to go on the penalty. Come to the Canadian zone. This is Seeger with it. Rolls and Ranford clears that. Larry Murphy shooting it to the blue line. Now to Gretzky at center ice. Czechs are back at full strength. They have staved off the power play. Murphy into an open wing against the boards. Will play it down to the corner. Here's the centering pass out in front. Across the crease it goes. That's why. Larry Murphy. Corson being checked by Frank Musil, the veteran defender for Czechoslovakia. In behind, Canada wins it. Dumping it out in front. They bang it when they score. Gretzky makes it 1-0 Team Canada.
The players for Team Canada upset with Bacha. He flattened Larmer as the puck was in front, and as everybody went to Larmer, Gretzky got to the puck, and Hasek, and it's very difficult to describe his style. He went down as the puck was moving in front, so there was Gretzky got hold of the puck and put it in. Now you see Larmer in front. Watch everybody go to him and knock him down. You see the room Gretzky has, and you see their goaltender chest down towards the ice surface in his spread eagle position. Watch the goaltender here. Down, spread out, and you got Gretzky around. Well, it's dangerous. Gretzky gives Canada a 1-0 lead. It's the 4th consecutive game that Canada has scored the first goal of the game.
And the 4th time that Gretzky has been a central figure in that. His 2nd goal of the Labatt Canada Cup to go with his half-dozen assists, and Canada takes a 1-0 lead. Robitaille to Messier. Back over to the far side. Little Luke Robitaille. Sandwich falling into the boards there against Czechoslovakia's Kuchera. The Czechs having trouble clearing now, but they bring it back to their own blue line. Held in by Robitaille. Robitaille trying to feed a wide from Messier. Can't get it to him. And the goaltender, Hasek, clears it himself. Steve Smith. Desjardins trying to tie up the forechecking Yeager. Long lead pass coming out to little Theo Fleury. Here's Messier with him. Makes a great move. Fleury going in, shooting. Blocked in front. The rebound still beside the net for Messier. Messier high-sticking it with Kuchera in there. Kuchera's taken a stick high, and now a fencing duel between Fleury and Bacha. They have to be separated.
Kuchera going with blood dripping down to the nose. Messier's stick right across the face. Messier tried to run one other play earlier in the shift. Oh, he showed up mean for this one.
No penalties called. This is the Labatt Canada Cup from Montreal on CTV.
Kuchera sitting on the bench, Chicago Blackhawk property. And does he take a high stick? Watch Messier's stick come up and boom. Right across the face, across the nose. I would think displacing the nose. Mark Messier tried to run Gudas earlier in the shift and just missed him. Messier showing up mean and ready, obviously. The referee didn't quite see the stick, I guess.
Well, it certainly wasn't premeditated by Messier. It looked like a reaction kind of thing.
To a hit coming his way.
But what a tremendous shot he gave Kuchera, and we'll watch as they may take him to the locker room. He now is being helped over the bench, and he'll be on his way. His play resumes here with Team Canada, leading by a 1-0 score on Gretzky's goal. Graham checking in the Czechoslovakian corner. It's back to Stevens, deflected shot, and Hasek handles that. Rick Tocchet of the Philadelphia Flyers over on the far boards. Czechoslovakia now taking over. They come in 2-on-2. Number 13 is Zemlika. Leads the play. Murphy checking him, and collected by Stevens in behind the net. They'll clear the short side. Near boards for Graham. Stevens has Sutter with him, and Tocchet steps inside the blue line and leaves it there. Zemlika for Bacha. Czechoslovakia having trouble getting out of their own end. Good forechecking tonight by the Canadians. Almost 5 minutes gone here in the first period. Canada dumps it in, gets a full change at the bench. The Czechs switch on the move too. The booing for Lindros. He's on the ice with the puck for Parachuk. Turns around his opponent Ruchinsky on the far side. Harachuk carries on, feeding Shanahan in front. Back on the point for McInnes. His shot. Hasek blocks that. Here's the rebound for Coffey shooting. And the defense of the Czechoslovakian team handled that. Leo Gudas took a hard shot. Lindros bumping in the corner. Centers it out. McInnes shooting. Short side save. Hasek down. And the whistle sound.
Hasek with lots of action coming his way. He's had 8 shots, and this looks sharp. Now, Billy Radford skating around here between whistles has not had a shot yet, and he often talks about how tough it is on a goaltender to not get work early in games. And he thinks it's just as important to come up with a big save early as it is late. Now, generally when European teams get a shot, it's a quality style shot. This team, Czechoslovakia, has not had one yet, and for a goaltender, it can play a game on your mind if you're not getting a lot of action. We'll have to see how Billy Radford handles this one.
Radford gave up 2 goals in the first game to Finland, 3 to the United States, and just 1 to Sweden. They broke his shutout with 2 minutes remaining in Maple Leaf Gardens the other night. Now for Canada, it's Courtnall getting it back to Coffey. Coffey rink wide, trying to find Gretzky. Does. Wayne gloves it down, gives it to Courtnall, but it's whistled down offside at the Czechoslovakian line.
Montreal's leading scorer last year, Russ Courtnall, with 76 points. 26 of those were goals. And rounding applause from the fans here in Montreal. lot of fans enjoy his style because of the speed that he can use.
The Czechs do not have a shot on goal on Bill Ranford as of yet. They've been outshot 8-0 by Canada at this stage, coming up on 6 minutes in the first period. 1-0 for the Canadians. Gudas now for Czechoslovakia, giving it up at center ice. He will try it again from his own blue line. A rink-wide pass, places it down nicely on the stick of number 28, Kolnick. Kolnick getting it back to Seeger. Seeger makes the play back to the point. Musso down beside the net. They center it out. Canada moves in, trying to clear the zone. Held in by the Czechs from the point. Now back to Shane Corson with Gretzky and Kortko. 3-on-2. They hit the line. McInnes trailing. Here's McInnes in front. He scores! Team Canada.
Team Czechoslovakia tried to get too fancy. They were in the offensive zone. They had the puck, but they tried to set up the perfect play, which never came. Team Canada started up ice, and the defenseman McInnes is waiting. Never rushed it at all because he had lots of time. It's amazing the amount of time McInnes has here. There's nobody within 10 feet of him, so he's able to change his angle and beat Hasek as Hasek was moving out. You give Al McInnes that kind of room and time to take the shot, he'll beat most goalies.
He gave Hasek no chance on that, so the Canadians give that fast break again as they have throughout this tournament, leading now by 2 goals over Czechoslovakia. Mark Messier being hounded by Jagr. Team Canada brings the way on the left side. Robitaille to the center ice area. White jerseys everywhere on this Montreal Forum ice. Team Canada skating like the wind here. Jagr at the blue line. Kostek shot. That is off the left goal post. Offside anyway. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
This is Russ Courtnall on the puck, but watch this as the Team Canada club makes sure they stay on side. Gretzky stays on side. In the zone they go. There's 4 players in the white jersey. Gretzky going to the net opens up the slot for Al McInnes, and he put it in.
Face off outside. Team Canada's blue line. Messier digs it back into the corner for teammate Steve Smith. How much longer they'll be teammates remains to be seen. Messier's demands this week made headlines about wanting to be traded from Edmonton. Smith gives it up there to Jagr of the Pittsburgh Penguins. Tries to make the play to Baca. Can't get him. Now Robitaille. Desjardins ahead to Messier on the right side. Robitaille and Fleur with him inside the blue line. A centering pass out there, and it comes out to center ice. Number 26, Reichel. Reichel is alone, tries to dig it over on the far side, finally gets some help from Jagr. He's bodied there. He and Smith go down, as do Fleury and Reichel. Messier. He'll change. Robitaille getting tired, but he stays on the ice while the others change. Now he goes to the bench. That's the first shot that Ranford's had to stop, and from long range at that. Almost 8 minutes have been played. Team Canada leads 2-0 over Czechoslovakia. Bonka playing it to the Canadian zone. Jelinek in the corner. Battles for the puck. Gets some help down from Michael Pivonka of the Washington Capitals, and they freeze it there for a face-off. Just 3 seconds shy of 8 minutes played. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
Very solid defenseman Steve Smith tried to throw a check on Jagr. Smith moves in with the shoulder. Jagr was prepared. Big Steve Smith went down. The young man Jagr, who belongs with the Pittsburgh Penguins, is certainly a fine talent. When you see the big smile on his face, Don, he's just a kid that loves to play hockey, period. He doesn't care where or what, just as long as he gets to play.
He's seen plenty of Czechs like that around the National Hockey League in his first season. It took till 7:40 for the Czech team to get a shot on Ranford, and that was from well out at long range. Team Canada leads 2-0. And from the face-off in the corner, this is Zemlika trying to center it out. Up the near boards they battle. Real workhorse Dirk Graham with it. He makes the pass, and out they come. Sutter with it for Graham. Off his stick to the corner. Hasek clears in behind on the near side. Czechoslovakia now with Zemlika at center ice. Sliger couldn't hold it. Here comes Graham, wide angle, and it's blocked and grabbed by Hasek, and he holds on for a faceoff.
Canadian club is starting to read plays pretty well with this international style. Done that last time it was Larry Murphy in the neutral zone picking off a wide ice pass by Slager, setting up an offensive rush. Hašek's an interesting story. Played very well in Czechoslovakia. Has good reflexes. Played 5 regular season games last year, then some in the playoffs for Chicago. Bad angle shot, he hangs on. Hašek says Canadian pros give him more trouble than the Soviets do when he plays against them. I don't know why. I guess better shooters overall.
They boo 88 every time he comes and goes. He comes now to the faceoff circle and wins it for Team Canada. Eric Lindros for an 18-year-old under enormous pressure tonight, but it's only a dress rehearsal, probably, for Monday at La Coliseum in Quebec City. Copy rink wide. Coming up on the 9-minute mark of the first period, Team Canada in charge in terms of dominating play. Shots on goal and goals scored to the 2-0 Bulls. Aronik clearing it. Palpy. Here's a shot, short side, danger shot by Raczynski. Just off the glove of Ranford to the short side. Now Korknal. They boo Eric Lindros. Trying to break in on number 3, Leo Gudas, who defends for Czechoslovakia.
And he got Lindros up high in the face with his stick, so Gudas will be getting himself a minor penalty.
Team Canada gets a power play opportunity. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
14 seconds.
Leo Gudas gets Czechoslovakia's second high-sticking penalty, and really there's not much justice, although this call certainly might be warranted.
That was an complete accident and a 2-minute penalty for the high stick, and after what Messier did, that didn't look too bad, did it? And the coach, Ivan Halenka, former NHL player in Vancouver, trying to voice his displeasure here, and so he should.
Messier almost dislodged Kuchera's nose from his face. A little blood there was cut on that encounter. Here's Coffey. Gretzky looks for Shanahan, can't quite get it to him. Larmer taps it back. McKenna's shooting, scores his second goal of the night. 3-0 Team Canada.
God, that's at least 4 shots on goal at McKinnis' hand, maybe 5 already. The penalty killer is really standing in front of the goaltender Hašek. Gretzky's not being pressured behind the net, and the point men for Canada are wide open. I mean, Al McKinnis is one of the great scorers right now in the National Hockey League among defensemen, and this Czechoslovakian club have paid no attention to him. There's a screen and deflection in front. Hašek has no chance. This hit, I believe, number 4, Frank Musel, as he tries to move out Brendan Shanahan. Off the leg, over the shoulder. It's 3-0 Canada. That was a power play goal.
Now Brendan Shanahan with the puck back for Gretzky over to Larmer as Team Canada swarms in again on a beleaguered Czechoslovakian team. Shanahan centers it out in front. Larmer gets tied up, and the Czechs bring it back to the neutral zone. Coffey has to go through his legs. Jagr forechecking on him, his Pittsburgh Penguin teammate. McKinnis with his second goal of the night for Team Canada. It's 3-0 for the Canadians. Larmer winning it in behind the net. Headmans it to Gretzky. Shanahan trails, takes the pass, but it's called offside at the Czechoslovakian line.
Talking to Al McKinnis regarding the Canadian power play. He said when you're on the power play and you go back to your own zone to set up behind the net, you see Gretzky coming back, just let him take it. If he wants it, give it to him, and we'll go from there. In this particular game, the Czechs are not very good defensively. Look at Gretzky. They're leaving Gretzky behind the goal net all by himself. Now look at McKinnis. Talk about room. One of the great shots ever in hockey by a defenseman, and you give him that much room, that gives him the opportunity to step right into the shot, which means a lot more velocity and a problem for the goaltender.
Now the Czechs with Kovaca shoot it to the Team Canada end of the ice. Just 1 shot on goal. Team Canada out shooting them 10-1 so far. Past the midway mark of the period. Messier chasing a loose puck left side. Messier overskates it. He gets turned around into the goalie, and the net's off the mooring.
A lot of rumors flying around regarding Mark Messier and perhaps going to the New York Rangers. I talked to General Manager Neil Smith of the Rangers today. He said we're more worried right now of straightening out the Adam Graves arbitration problem, or settling that between the Edmonton Oilers and New York Rangers. And as far as Mark Messier goes, basically he just wanted to keep it to himself. If there's a deal brewing, there's a deal brewing.
Mark full force into Hasek. Nobody injured there. Well, a Messier transaction to be very complicated. Might take time to work out. Robitaille waits for the pass. Couldn't get it from Messier. Now Fleury will try. He scores! It's 4-0 for Team Canada.
As though Canada has already broken the spirit of this Czechoslovakian club. Through the legs, nobody knocked down. The Canadians controlling face-offs, they're controlling the boards and the scoreboard right now. This club is flying.
It's not supposed to be this easy, but it's a romp for the team in white tonight. Almost 11 minutes gone. This Czech team hardly knows what has hit it. Palfi plays it into the Team Canada zone. 11-1 in shots, 4-0 the score. Number 16, Ruchinski with it. Weak shot goes wide from the stick of Baranek. Sutter for Tocchet, too far for him. And Frank Musil has it at center ice for Czechoslovakia. Right wing pass. And they whistle that down. Palfi on the offside. The Advanced Blue Player of the game for Team Czechoslovakia will be awarded a very unique Inuit sculpture courtesy of Canadian Tire. Canadian Tire supports skills development, participation, fair play, and fun in communities right across Canada. The spirit of hockey. Team Canadian Tire.
Ivan Halenka, the coach, has a lot of respect from his players, but you can see him facing not very happy. It seems like when Team Canada gets off to a quick start, it seems to drop the spirits of the other team so much that the Canadians, if they keep that tempo up, they just roll. And we're seeing it here again.
They hit them fast, they hit them hard, and tonight they've especially hit the Czechs very hard with a 4-0 lead.
Well, the 4-0 lead, Don, plus the fact that they just have been so physical. They've just tried to go out and run over this hockey club, and it's worked.
Some boos for number 88. Lindros doing his best to ignore them and just play his game for Team Canada. Hasek fails to hold it around and behind the net. Graham forechecking, can't keep it in. Czechoslovakia now 2-on-2 at the blue line. It's dropped back to Kron. Kron working in. Kron off balance shooting. Ranford rebound. Still loose. Lindros throwing out to the far side. It's the second shot on goal by Czechoslovakia. 12 minutes gone in period 1. 4-0 Team Canada leads. Long lead pass for Lindros. It's good. He bumps down the boards with Slager. Play goes on. Big Lindros centering it just behind Graham. Here's Coffey toward the net now. He's wide. McInnes will hold it and blast it down the boards from the right side. Round and around the Czech zone they go. Now Czechoslovakia's Jagr works it past Coffey, and Kortnell recovers for Canada. Lindros lets it go down the ice inside the blue line.
Lindros playing without the facial support or mask for the first time in this Canada Cup series, and he got clipped earlier in this period. In junior, you had to wear the mask.
From behind, a centering pass. Gudas shooting, and that's deflected wide at the last moment. Gudas from the right point. Runs into Smith. Czechs keep it alive in the Team Canada zone. Smith around to Desjardins. Right boards. Back to center ice to Larmer. Dumped to the left corner. Harachuk near boards. Gretzky can't get it in behind. Puck couldn't reach him. Yaroslav Jagr. Team Canada easily winning that. Larmer. He'll shoot it to the right corner. Gretzky in front. Couldn't get it to Harachuk. Forechecking by Larmer keeps it alive. Now Gretzky circling for Larmer, watched by Musil. Down goes Larmer. The puck is underneath him, and they'll freeze it there in the Czechoslovakian corner. 6:16 to go. 4-0 first period for Canada. This is the Levent Canada Cup on CTV. Ranford has almost had the night off. Hasek with 7 saves, 11 shots. 4 have eluded him. Team Canada leading by the 4-0 score. 6:16 to go in the opening period. A lightning fast start once again by the Canadians. Stevens now getting it across to Shanahan, keeping it alive, getting it back. His shot is blocked by Czechoslovakia's Bachin. Shot weakly into the corner. Ranford redirects it in there. Stevens sandwiched back of the boards. Now Messier with Robitaille. Redirects it across. Shanahan shooting wide. Jelinek, one of the stars of this Czech team, along with Jäger, not a force tonight. Not much offense. They've been met at the blue line like this or at center ice. They fail to penetrate Canada's zone very often. Robitaille's got Stevens with him, but shoots instead. A weak shot. Hasek stops that.
That was a rush with Scott Stevens coming in from behind. Don, these Czechs are not looking at all at the Canadian defensemen when they join the offensive rush.
They have only 1 win of the tournament so far. They were beaten by Finland with just seconds to go. They lost to the United States in Detroit. Their only win came over the Soviet Union. It's been a strange tournament in that respect. But Czechoslovakia and Sweden may be looking to be on the outside when the playoffs come along next week. A little less than 5 minutes to go. Sutter. As they go down on a pile in the corner there. Graham also down, and they stop the play.
Our next telecast on CTV is Monday. Canada against the Soviet Union from Quebec City. That's what the game is being billed as, but it is also Eric Lindros's first game in the Colisée. 8 o'clock Eastern. Check for local listings in your area.
Sounds like, Rod, it'll be his only game in the Colisée.
Scott Stevens and his problems regarding the New Jersey dealings. You know, there was a clause in his contract, Don, that says if he was traded from St. Louis, he would get $500,000. And it was reported. But what wasn't reported is the fact that he gets it for every year in his contract. And there's 2 years and an option.
Oh, McInnes just missed the first period hat trick there on the short side. Just missed the post.
So with 2 years and an option left in his contract, that's $1.5 million that has become part of the deal. Now, some may say, well, he wasn't traded. He was sent over in an arbitration hearing. It may be up to a judge to figure that one out. That's a lot of money. $1.5 million, $500,000 a year. Oh.
It may come to a legal process. Coffey. 4.5 minutes to go. McInnes with a great period again shoots it back in behind the Czechoslovakian zone in the corner. Spinning is Slager. Jäger having trouble. Great forechecking by Team Canada. Sound hockey at every aspect of the game here in the Montreal Forum tonight. Wyszynski brings it in. Canada quickly recovers and takes it right back out. McInnes carrying. Fleury with it. Now Graham shooting over top. Rebound. Cleared by Musso.
That was another late man coming up the ice. It was the forward Graham, and he's not picked up. The Czechs are just not, they're awful with their checking.
A stick check by McInnes wins the puck for Team Canada. And Coffey has it at center ice. He overskates it. Czechoslovakia's player Palpy falling. Then Lindros skates around him. Eric Lindros, the boos around the forum. As he passes to Courtnall. It's on the goal crease, and they couldn't poke in the rebound. 3:40 to go. And a stoppage of play here.
Penalty coming up to Rick Tocchet for interference. He crashed into the goaltender Hasek.
This is the Labatt Canada Cup from the Montreal Forum. Game 4 here on CTV.
Tonight.
You know how raucous that building can be. It is rocking tonight, I'm sure, with that first American goal, as the Montreal Forum has, with 4 quick goals for Team Canada. And a lead now over Czechoslovakia. But Tocchet's in the penalty box for interference. The Czechs have a power play opportunity. Number 28, Kolnick sweeping at the puck. Smith for Canada. Feeding it ahead for Russ Courtnall. Montreal Canadian flipping it out to Lindros. The chase is on.
The Czechs are 0 for 17. 0 for 17 in the tournament on their power play. They just don't have a real offensive leader to make it click very often.
Good check by Eric Lindros and shot down the ice. Gretzky can't catch up with it in time. Now he's got a chance. Sweeps it toward the net, but Hasek halfway to the blue line contains it. Less than 3 minutes to go in the first period. 4-0 for Team Canada. Robert Reichel for Czechoslovakia. Hits the red line. Yager accepts the pass into blue. Tries to sweep it in front. Smith turns him. Larmer goes in to dig it out. Picked up by number 26, Reichel. The Czechs with their first pressure of the night on Team Canada. Here's a shot. Radford blocks that. On the rebound, they score. Czechoslovakia getting its first goal of the night on a power play.
Number 5, Prager, bumped Gretzky at the blue line away from the puck, and he was knocked down, lost his stick. The Czechs then controlled the puck and ended up scoring, and Gretzky was one unhappy hockey player. See Gretzky stick up by the blue line. Now, with Ranford making a save, he wasn't sure where the rebound went, where the puck went, and there was an open man off to the side. Prager's number 5. There's a good shot by the Czechs. The puck is put in on the rebound, and the power play does work for the Czechoslovakians. Their first power play goal of the tournament.
Assisted by number 26.
A 4-1 hockey game.
Et le numéro 18 and number 18, Jurgis Baka.
2.5 minutes to play in the opening period.
At 17 minutes, 26 seconds.
Jelinek over to the far corner. Babanka as Ranford goes down to make the save.
John, the Canadian club was killing a penalty, and Gretzky's always a thinker. He knows where to go. And here you see him getting ready to read a play as the puck could be coming in any direction. But watch this man here stick his leg out and knock Gretzky down, and in turn open up the ice surface. Oh, the leg's out, down goes Gretzky, loses the stick, and effectively takes him right out of the play. That opens up the ice surface. Now hold it now. See all the room they had there without Gretzky, and that led to the goal.
The goal by number 12, Kendall Kastic. 4-1 for Team Canada. Shot from the point. Radford handles that. Pretty good blast from Slager. Now Gretzky. This is the check in the corner. Comes out to Prager. Prager shooting, and acrobatics by Radford. Delayed penalty now will be called by the referee, Dennis LaRue of the United States. An interference call.
Radford's a little shaken after taking that shot. Penalty upcoming. And I think Wayne, well, no, it's not Wayne Gretzky. I'm not real sure who it is. Number 25, Jelinek, who is a very feisty, tough player. Interference called against the Czechoslovakians.
With 2:03 remaining in the period.
Oh, I see. He put his stick out, tugged away at Ranford. That's why Ranford was off balance. Ranford appeared to be a little shaken.
He skated around the net a couple of times trying to shake it off.
That's a dirty play. It's tough enough to stop pucks, but when you have guys pulling your legs out with their sticks, that's a dirty play. Eddie Balfour, the backup goaltender, worked very hard today with Sean Burke after practice. Keep himself fit and ready in case Billy Ranford has to be removed.
Uso plays it into the Team Canada zone. Promptly brought back to center ice. Pass to Robitaille. Tries to dump it off the boards for Fleury, but it's cleared by Czechoslovakia with 1 minute and 45 seconds to go now. And about that much left in the Czechoslovakian penalty for interference to Jelinek. 4-1 for Canada. McInnes, who has scored 2, makes the pass to Messier. Circling and controlling the pace of the play right now is Messier. To McInnes, he gets it back. They'll play catch for a while. Now McInnes relays to Copy on the left point. McInnes shooting it. Here's a rebound. Fleury bangs at it. Still loose for Messier. He couldn't get any wood down, and back comes Czechoslovakia. Number 19 is Baranek with Wyszynski. Ridden out by McInnes successfully as we come up now in the final minute of play in the first period of this game in the Montreal Forum tonight. Here is Copy breaking in. Robitaille circling in front, going to the net. Gets through him, and he couldn't get a shot off. The Czechs now just trying to kill this penalty as best they can. They've been scored on 3 times on power plays in this tournament. They have not scored themselves until tonight with the manpower advantage.
Sutter and Tocchet getting some power play time here. I think that they've been in a checking role more than anything else in this tournament so far, so I think it's a nice little bonus for them to get out there and work on the power play.
This is Smith setting Sutter away at the blue line with 21 seconds to go. Dropping it back to Tocchet. Desjardins lets a shot go just wide. 11 seconds remaining in the penalty. And it's out to center ice. Desjardins. And that will do it for the first period of the 4th appearance for Team Canada in the Labatt Canada Cup. They outshot the Czechoslovakian team 16-9. They outscored them 4-1. Another fast start for Canada.
Strong period for every player. Billy Ranford, not a lot of work, but the club showed up early. The level of play, the intensity was up all period. Now they have to try and work it for 2 more periods.
But they've got a big cushion to work with here as they shock and rock the team from Czechoslovakia. 4-1 Canada. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
They're wearing their favorite hats here in the Montreal Forum. Canada leading Czechoslovakia 4-1 after 1. Since we arrived in La Belle Province here in Quebec, usually the talk should be about the Canada Cup, but there are only 2 words, and those are Eric Lindros.
Mike Keenan is calling a press conference as well tomorrow, Rod, so it'll be interesting to see what he has to say, perhaps something about the Lindros situation. The thing that makes Eric such a special athlete is that he has absolutely everything. He has size, 6'5", 228. He has speed, he has skill, he has a mean streak, he's got wonderful hands. But I think this whole issue is about his look and his marketability. I mean, the kid should be on the cover of GQ or all of the modeling magazines. He is that kind of a marketable commodity. And it's not a French thing that is keeping Eric Lindros out of Quebec City. It is the fact that he doesn't feel he will be marketable and in the endorsement area in Quebec as he could be in other markets.
Do you think they played this wrong, the Lindros entourage? They're taking a lot of heat. Do you think maybe a lot of people say that maybe they shouldn't have said something so early? Maybe they should have waited until after the Canada Cup before saying, no, we're not going to Quebec City.
I think the exact opposite. I think if he didn't want to go, he should have come out even before the draft and said, and I'm not going to Quebec no matter what they do. So I think they should have said it then. But I think it's time somebody stepped in and started to preserve hockey here. The Quebec Nordiques have their side. The NHL now is worried about their draft system because Eric doesn't want to go, and that sort of makes the draft system go poof. Eric has his side of things. Who is thinking of the sport? I think the worst case scenario would be Eric Lindros back in junior and not playing someplace in a National Hockey League uniform. So somebody has to step in and think of the sport instead of thinking of their own individual interests.
What about something like the national team?
That's a possibility, but I still think it will be a shame if he's not in an NHL uniform.
He's a fantastic hockey player, that's for sure. In the first period tonight, Wayne Gretzky opened scoring at 3:04. Al MacInnis with the first of 2, 6:16, 9:25. Team Canada out again to a quick 3-0 lead. And then Theo Fleury, another Calgary Flame, with his first goal of the Canada Cup. Then Kastak scoring for the Czechs. The score after 1, 4-1. Team Canada outshooting the Czechs 16-9 in that wild first period. The teams are on the ice. We're ready for the second period. Let's go to JD and Chevy.
All right, Rod, thank you. I have nothing to base this on. It's a hunch, but let us speculate. If Mike Keenan's calling a news conference tomorrow, it undoubtedly, for a good part, will deal with Eric Lindros. And could it be that he will announce that he's going to keep him out of the game in Quebec City on Monday night and take that enormous pressure off the shoulders of an 18-year-old?
It's certainly a possibility, Don. I mean, it's gone absolutely mad regarding the Lindros situation. A lot of sports writers, one in particular, Réjean Tremblay, who's a noted sports writer here in the province of Quebec, they've tended to take this story and make it, they're trying to make it into a political issue regarding the people shunning the province of Quebec, and that certainly isn't right in my books. I don't take that stand whatsoever. One newspaper here has hired a psychologist to get into the print and check out the situation. He's pointing the finger at Lindros' mother, saying that she's the problem. It's gone mad.
Yeah,
it's
really
crazy.
Is. Maybe Keenan might just do that. It might be wise.
Yeah.
Here's copy now from the face-off. Team Canada with a 4-1 lead, carrying it into the second period in the Montreal Forum. And certainly young Lindros has heard enough booze here to last him a good long while, let alone going to Quebec. Copy in the corner with a falling Czechoslovakian Jaeger against him. Gretzky now swings it away at center ice. 2-on-1. Larmer's on his right. Gretzky will shoot it. It's in. Gretzky scores 5-1. It came out as fast as it went in.
Didn't take long. Wayne Gretzky was tripped up late in the first period. And little things like that make his motor run just a little bit quicker. The defenseman, Goodas, got caught at the blue line with a bouncing puck. It's a 2-on-1. Bussell made him shoot it. And Gretzky, when he gets time to shoot, Don, from that position will always go high to the catching glove side. There's the shot. It beats Hasek. It's 5-1. And Wayne Gretzky, who has been very involved in this game, that gives him 3 points so far.
His third goal of the Canada Cup, his second of the night. Team Canada roughs 5-1. Gretzky has been the pivotal figure, as you might expect, in every game so far for the Canadians.
The tie with Finland to open the tournament for Canada, he was held pointless. Maybe that's why the tie was a tie. Every game since, Canada has rolled, and he's been the main figure.
Slides down to the Czechoslovakian corner again. Hasek will sweep it in behind. Laid offside. The Czechs leisurely can bring it on now to the center ice area. This is Jelinek being taken down. Tocchet is checked. Zalika. Bakcha trying to help out in behind. Now they dig it ahead for Tocchet. His pass is intercepted. Quick response by the Czechs into the Team Canada zone. Desjardins is taken down, and there's going to be a penalty there to Eric Desjardins of the Montreal Canadiens. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
Canada's penalty number 37,
Eric Desjardins gets the 2-minute hooking minor.
40 seconds.
You'll see Desjardins on the near side, or pardon me, right about the middle, reach out with his stick to hold up the Czechoslovakian player. And just prior to that play, Jelinek is hooked up a little bit. Actually, the Czech player there jumped off the ice surface to avoid a check. And I'm not so sure it should have been a penalty either. The referee didn't.
Well, he got Desjardins for hooking, so Czechoslovakia tonight for the first time scoring on a power play in the entire tournament. We'll have the manpower advantage here. Almost 2 minutes into the second period, trailing 5-1. To a Team Canada team that ignited early and kicked into high gear here in the Montreal Forum. This is Yuri Slager. Pass on the left side. Palffy shoots it in. Ranford can't round it up. Team Canada will clear the zone. Off the boards past Messier to kill off some time. Slager collects it. Yuri Slager losing it at center ice to Gretzky. Gretzky now, Slager defending. Gretzky, as Slager fell, comes back with the puck. Now will make his move, flipping it in front. Rebound for Messier. They bang away, side of the goal. Hasek is down, and somehow it stays out. He puts the glove on it.
Wayne Gretzky brings them to their feet here again. This time he kills the penalty. Canada has 3 short-handed goals in the tournament. Gretzky's been on the ice for all 3. Now, when Gretzky moves into the offensive zone, you'll see him move across, and then when he moves in, we'll roll it. Watch Slager move across. Now, Slager here with a fake shot stops and gets lost. Now, if we take it ahead, now hold it here, you'll see this man thinking Gretzky's going to move up ice. He won't move up ice. He'll come back the other way. With one quick move, we roll it. He opens the ice up. Now, everybody goes at Gretzky. Look at the man in front. Messier is waiting for a rebound. The shot's taken, save made. Gretzky attracts people, and then he finds the people that are wide open.
Seeger with Prawn and Kolnick on the power play. Czechoslovakia, even with the power play, coming up on 3 minutes now, does not have a shot on goal this period. Here's a shot, though, that finds Ranford right on. He holds them at bay. The rebound dancing in front of the Canadian goal, and they clear. McKinnon shooting it down the ice. Hasek ahead to Kron. Now Seeger. Intercepted by Corto. We have Howard-Chuck. Howard-Chuck going in, setting, can't get a shot away. He was taken down by Musil just as he was firing the trigger. Seeger. Czechs tied up in their own zone when they should be attacking. Just a second left now. Desjardins will step out of the penalty box. Canada's at full strength. He's back on the ice, and they do call icing on that. About 4 minutes gone in period 2, but Canada romping 5-1. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV. Headquarters. Tonight, hockey headquarters in Canada, the Montreal Forum, while in the United States, the Chicago Stadium has seen the United States take a 1-0 lead over the Soviet Union. Earlier at Maple Leaf Gardens, Toronto, Finland surprised Sweden 3-1. Here, Canada dominates Czechoslovakia 5-1. 4 minutes gone now in period 2. Desjardins swings it away to Lindros. The Bluebirds come out to roost again as it slides beside the goal, and Hasek goes down with Lindros hovering.
Every player for Czechoslovakia that has moved in to try and hit Lindros, they bumped him, but Lindros, during the second half of the actual hit, outmuscles the opposition player. It's amazing to watch. He is so strong at such a young age. This is Lindros moving across at the goaltender, and his stick bumps the netminder, and that's why Basha went over, gave Lindros a little push.
Takes more than a little push to knock Big 88 off his feet. He said the other night, the astonishing thing to remember is he's only 18. He's probably got some growing left at 6'5", 228. More to come. Number 18 for Czechoslovakia, Jurgis Bacha, hounded by Robitaille. Swings it over to Richard Smelik. Getting it out to Kastic, who was the only goal for Czechoslovakia. Smelik off the boards, losing it there. Lindros inside, trying to set up Shanahan, but they call that on the offside. 15:35 to go in the second period.
One thing about getting hockey players involved with this tournament, the coaches love it if you can play more than one position. And Shanahan has played left and right wing, and he can play center ice if needed be. Plus, he can play the point on the power play. And when they get all those ingredients into one player, the coaches will take that and lean towards a player like that when it comes to a tournament, when you have a roster that you have to freeze once you hit the 23-player limit.
Drop of the puck. Sutter, good face-off man, wins it for Team Canada. Driven by Murphy hard off the glass back of Hasek. Pavonka. 3-on-3 as Graham gets back very quickly with the two defense players for Canada, Stevens and Murphy. Hasek comes out and will sweep it away on the far side to Slager. Shot in, delayed offside here. Packard with it. Rink-wide pass coming out for number 25, Jelinek. Long shot is off the mark in the Canadian zone. Just over 5 minutes gone here in the period. 5-1, Team Canada leads. Robitaille dropping it off for Stevens. Stevens, nice little move there, and it's shot up over the glass. From the Forum in Montreal, this is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV. Messier getting ready for the face-off from the Team Canada zone, but Robitaille made a nice little move here.
See how he drew the player towards him and then dumped it back off to Stevens. Stevens was setting up a play but lost the puck. Canadian players will do that a lot. Draw people towards them and then dump the puck off. And we've seen Gretzky do it all tournament long. He's by far the best at doing it.
Messier with Robitaille and Fleury. Chidsky for Czechoslovakia being hounded by McInnes. Fleury watching his man, Josef Baranek, in front of the net. Kyle McInnes. Open wing. Hasek playing it around on the near boards. Kept in by the Canadians. Here's the dangerous McInnes. He'll shoot it off to the far corner. It's over Messier's stick. Picked up by Ruchinsky. Baranek. He is taken down at the blue line. Now comes after McInnes. Ranford contains that on the short side. 19-10, the shots advantage for Canada, but the territorial play advantage much more dominating than that. They lead 5-1. Robitaille will push it ahead. Canada looking for a chance to change some players now. Messier replaced by Gretzky. They get a whistle now. 13:38 to go in period 2. 5-1 for Canada on the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV. Wayne's dad wouldn't miss this for the world. There he is in row 1 right behind the Team Canada bench, enjoying what he sees tonight.
Little pull to get those seats, huh? Came down from Toronto or over from Toronto to Montreal by train. There's a lot of people thinking about taking the train these days out of Toronto.
A few delays, I'm told.
Yeah. Come on.
He came in the back door through Buffalo. Czechoslovakia in a big hole and unable to climb out of it, it would appear, as number 28 can't take the lead past Kolnick. Ranford dumping it around here. Kolnick comes in to take charge with Seeger. Plays it back on the point. Here is the shot. That's deflected. It came from Smilik. Smith now. Big Smith on the near boards trying to get it up as far as Gretzky at the blue line. It's driven back by Czechoslovakia. 7 minutes have gone by in the second period. 5-1. Team Canada dominates this game against Czechoslovakia. Long lead pass for Gretzky. 2 defenders are there. He is taken down. Smith will carry on. In the corner, Smilik with it. Desjardins being hounded by number 22 Kron.
That was an example of a good first pass out of Canada's zone to Gretzky by Desjardins. There's another good first pass.
Corporal back to Gretzky. Shooting. Off the glove of Hasek, comes around in behind. He got a piece of it over back of the net and around it with. They center it, and down he goes to save it.
Pretty obvious here in this game. The Czechs want Gretzky to shoot. Every time Gretzky's had a little time in the offensive zone, he looks around, and the last available resort for Gretzky is to shoot it. He loves to pass the puck. That hasn't happened so much here. He's getting the chances to do things. But the Czechs, you can tell by their game plan here, they want him to shoot the puck. And of course, he has a couple in this one.
Yeah, the playmaker's become the great scorer tonight.
That was the Steve Smith Courtnall pass, which sets up this shot by Gretzky. Gretzky, too, I think Don is thriving on the fact that he's shooting the puck tonight and enjoying maybe getting the goals himself.
Ranford behind the net. Jagger watching him. Hops in among the spectators. There'll be a face-off in the Team Canada zone. When you can't shut him down, it's one or the other. You let him shoot, you let him pass, but usually he's going to hurt you either way.
He'll find a way. Yuri Slager, as you see, draft choice, not overly tall, but fairly strong. His father, Yuri Bubla, had problems with the law. I understand has been released and is supposed to be back in Vancouver.
After Finland and Sweden, the Czechoslovakian players were the next bunch to come to the National Hockey League, and they're well represented by NHL teams here tonight. Lindros down the boards now, being ridden off into the lumber, and they can't center it. Number 15 picks it up. Jagger, he can't make the play out of there. Lindros taking off the boards. Here in front, waiting for it is Howardchuk. Corporal couldn't get it to him. Howardchuk goes in behind himself now to try to take it from Slager. Nobody in front right now for Team Canada. Try to get it to Murphy, and Corporal could not do that.
It's getting pretty sloppy out there with both clubs. The thing that's important, though, is the fact that Canada, even though they're not getting many scoring chances now, not giving up many.
Big Lindros, a punishing check on the Czechoslovakian player, number 24, Slager, in behind the play, and the crowd actually cheered him on that.
He seems to get 1 or 2 a game. The big, crunching, pasting, squashing body checks.
Tocchet spun around, fighting for control at center ice. You're right, the puck's bouncing, and the play a little sloppier now, certainly in the second period. Czechoslovakia now. Here's a penalty coming up as Jelinek is taken down. Team Canada will be a man short, and the Czech power play as Coffey gets the gate will go on the ice. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV. It's a slashing penalty in 9:01 to defenseman Paul Coffey of Canada.
Jelinek here driving to the net. More of a hook than anything else.
Yes.
Boy, the legs went up pretty good. Here's that hit by Lindros. The power that he has. The leg drive into the opposition player near the boards is really something. I mean, he pushed with his arms, yes, but it was the leg drive into the body of the other player that knocked him off balance.
Mike Keenan over his shoulder with words for him at the Team Canada bench. Ready for the face-off. Pabaka was in Lika and Jelinek on the ice now. They get it back to Musil on the left point. McInnes, defending for Canada, clears the zone. Al McInnes with a brilliant Canada Cup Series so far. An outstanding first period. When he scored 2 goals, he had 7 shots. This Canadian defenseman in period 1. Remarkable.
And watch his play defensively, guys. He's become more than just the man with the big shot and the point getter. He's strong in his own zone.
Smith behind the net against Pivonka. Yuso waits the pass. It comes through Zelica over in the corner. McInnes again will golf it, and he will clear the zone for Canada. Sutter forechecking. Czechs backing up here. Canada makes some changes as they do. An errant pass will come down beside Ranford. Icing on a power play is called against Czechoslovakia. And we'll remind you, the Labatt's Blue player of the game for Team Canada.
Fine penalty killing once again by Team Canada. They've given up 1 power play goal against in this game, but their penalty killing through the tournament has been very, very strong. Bill Ranford picking up something from the ice, giving it to Pat Capuzzo, the linesman. That's why we have the delay. Plus, he's trying to get a message to his bench that he'd like some more water. He said he got tired in Toronto a little bit the other night with all the work, plus the heat in the building.
Yeah, no air conditioning in Maple Leaf Gardens. Much more comfortable in here this evening in the Montreal Forum. Messier wins the draw. Quick shot by Graham. He'll get a second chance with it. Feeding it in behind the Czechoslovakia net. Being left there for number 7, Richard Smelik. He wasn't supposed to play very much, but when Kuchera took that high stick from Messier and was gone for what we presume is the rest of this game, he gets more ice time. Good check in the corner down in the Canadian zone as Team Canada picks it up and shoots it down the ice. 40 seconds left in Paul Coffey's slashing penalty. Graham getting it to Messier. Messier to Desjardins. Desjardins shooting. That is blocked. Puck rolling in the Czech zone. Now picked up by Czechoslovakia. And Raczynski has it with a rink-wide pass on the right side to Palffy. Stevens takes over for the Canadians. Czechoslovakia carrying on. Here's a chance rolling across the goal crease, and it was a rolling puck that Baranek couldn't get his stick on. Here is Bacha. Getting around Messier nicely. Now Messier comes back, pucks him a little bit, didn't get called for that, and Messier takes charge. They clear the zone, and Coffey's back on the ice. Canada back at full strength. Jurgis Bacha. Lead pass goes nowhere. Team Canada not shooting the Czechs just 3-2. Not many good scoring opportunities either way. Team Canada has the only goal by Gretzky in this period. And there is a stoppage in play again. They'll take it to the Czechoslovakia.
Dirk Graham used primarily as a penalty killer in this tournament, and you can understand why Mike Keenan wanted to keep him. Watch Graham move in here, out-hustle 2 red jerseys, knocked them both off balance, allowing Canada to control the puck. That's Messier now going to get the puck. But Dirk Graham took 2 men right out. Great penalty killing when you see work like that from Graham.
Gretzky's line is on the ice for Team Canada, having weathered the Czechoslovakian power play attempt again on the Coffey penalty. We have 8:40 left in the second period. Team Canada leads 5-1. On the faceoff, it is left there for number 22, Robert Cron. Forcing it up the boards. Larmer circling in front. There'll be a delayed penalty here.
Be a holding call against the Czechs. A holding call off the draw where one of the Team Canada's players had the stick held. So the Czechs, the Czechoslovakians make that. Will be shorthanded. Benny LaRue, who played some hockey himself, the referee, played hockey out in Spokane against teams like the Columbia Valley Rockies. He was talking about it yesterday. Said he had a great time.
The Columbia Valley Rockies.
Way out in British Columbia.
Kolnick is in the penalty box.
See the hold right there as Corson couldn't get away.
All 3 officials, by the way, tonight are representing the United States. Pat Capuzzo and Dan Shakti are the 2 linesmen for the USA, along with Dennis LaRue. From the face-off, shoveled back to the Czechoslovakian corner. Krakar in there for it. Corson trying to take over. Gretzky will dictate the pace of this power play right here and right now. Whenever he wants to make the pass, he will, not before. Sliding it through, and he couldn't quite get it to Steve Larmer. Kron. He got nowhere in the Team Canada zone with 8 minutes to play in the second period. Team Canada with a manpower advantage, already leading 5-1. They scored the first 4 goals of this hockey game. Here's a wide open chance. How did Larmer miss that? Puck bouncing to him with Hasek well out of the play. McKinnis shooting. Gretzky couldn't get to the rebound. It bounced in behind him. McKinnis blasts one. Carson bangs at the rebound, and Hasek hangs on.
Now McKinnis, opportunity after opportunity as the Czechoslovakians not paying attention to him once again. Larmer had a couple of chances during the shift. Canada still has 1:08 left on this power play. 1 minute 8 seconds remaining. A multitude of chances. The puck's dumped in here by McKinnis, and somehow it caroms off the glass or boards back in front. Larmer just missed it, I believe. Or maybe Hasek, and diving back, got the backside of his stick on the puck.
He did.
Hasek's job is to anticipate somewhat, but he will have learned a lesson here of not leaving the net too early in the forum when crazy bounces like that are happening.
So another face-off coming up just to the left of Dominik Hasek in goal for Czechoslovakia tonight. In the corner of the Team Canada zone now, the Canadians. Kalnick in the penalty box. We welcome viewers on Sports Channel America looking in. The United States-Soviet game, which the Americans lead 1-0. It's 5-1 here for Canada over Czechoslovakia. Team Canada dominating all the way here in the Montreal Forum, scoring the first 4 goals of the game. McKinnis and Gretzky each have 2 for the Canadians. Fleury has the other.
Thing to be aware of: international hockey played on large ice surfaces in Europe. Players after a pass or shot don't get hit often. Here in North America, on the smaller ice surfaces, you get hit a lot. And I think you're seeing a wearing effect as Canada is bumping, they're hitting, and the Czechoslovakian hockey club just cannot generate any offense.
Well, everybody in this Team Canada team has generated some offense tonight. Alan McKinnis certainly did with 2 first-period goals on 7 shots. Not bad for a defenseman.
He's got to be getting close to double figures. He had 2 shots his last shift. A couple of goals, and we're talking offense. But remember, too, we mentioned it earlier, his overall defense has improved so much. And you can just see it here. He reads plays, doesn't get beat very often one-on-one, and has the strength, the power to outmuscle the opposition.
Eric Lindros, the Bluebirds' delight in the Montreal Forum all night long. Wins the face-off. Murphy on the left point with it. Deflected off the glass for Russ Courtnall. Courtnall tries to feed Messier in front. Messier is taken down, and the Czechs clear the zone. Back on the ice is the penalized Czechoslovakian player. They are at full strength, trailing by 5-1. Young Eric Lindros, as the crowd boos him again. They've been doing that since the pregame warm-up. Lindros, very determined not to go to the Quebec Nordique. He will decide his own future. They shoot it down the ice, and there'll be an icing call against Team Canada. Face-off back to the right of Billy Ranford, who's been very strong when called upon tonight.
It's a radio station in Quebec City that has the call letters of CHRC. And one of the hosts there has been trying to talk the people of Quebec into maybe cheering Lindros when he comes there, trying the reverse effect. Be nice to the young man. Maybe we'll get him here. It's not working. The people aren't happy that Lindros has stated he will not report to the Nordique.
Aronik on the face-off leads it beside the Team Canada goal. Number 3 is Scott Stevens for Canada. Getting it ahead now to Messier across the blue line. Leaving it for Czechoslovakian player Ruchinski. Right side for Baronik. He's met by Messier, and Canada clears the zone. Long shot, Ranford handles, but it's whistled down at the blue line on the offside call. 5:42 to go here, and Canada has a 5-1 lead over Czechoslovakia.
second period basically has slowed to a crawl. Not many chances both ways. I think Pat Burns and Brian Sutter, along with Mike Keenan and the two coaches upstairs, Tom Webster and Tom Watt, I think will be satisfied with the Canadian defensive play here in the second period. Obviously, it's only human nature, I think, when you have a 5-1 lead and the other team not charging too much, that your level will drop a little bit.
Let's face it, we were delighted and spoiled the first 3 games. The pace of hockey we saw, Finland first, then the United States skating with Canada every step of the way, and Sweden in the 3rd game. And we had moments of that in the first period tonight, but this Czechoslovakian team looks badly overmatched. From the faceoff, Baranek lost the draw. Tocchet digs it back to Al McInnes, and he feeds it ahead in the center ice zone. Intercepted there. Slager gets bumped as he crosses the blue line, and Graham comes back to pick it up. Slager and McInnes are going at it. Sticks are getting up there. Tocchet now with his stick in his arms around the neck of the Czechoslovakian player Yuri Slager.
It was a one-on-one. Slager going against McInnes, and McInnes showed his strength, not allowing Slager to beat him.
Well, we'll see if penalties do come from this. 5-1 Canada. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV. So Al McInnes and Yeager are in the penalty box, offsetting penalties. With 5:29 to go in the period, Yuri Slager it is for Czechoslovakia.
There's a couple of Detroit fans, it looks like. Where is Yzerman? Yzerman is getting ready to step into camp with the Red Wings. The Red Wings are going to have a pretty good hockey club this year, I think. They've imported a lot of skilled, talented players, plus some muscle. Don, they're going to be very interesting.
So much has been expected of them the last, what, 2 or 3 years. Well, they never quite fulfilled it.
The thing, too, is that I think Steve Yzerman will be on a mission now after not making this club. And I'm certainly going to try and at least get a copy of the tape from the first meeting that he has. Detroit with Chicago, Mike Keenan's club. It could be an Yzerman clinic.
And with a mission. Baranek at the blue line is bodied by Graham, and Sutter carries on for Team Canada, knifing in front of his own net now with a left side pass. Right wing relay for Graham as they hit the blue line. Sutter goes for the net. Here's Graham getting it back to Tocchet. Graham setting to shoot, thinks better of that now. Will sweep it across the ice for Coffey. Coffey tried to feed Tocchet. He got turned around, and Raczynski has it for Czechoslovakia. Less than 5 minutes remaining in the second period. Boccia having difficulty. Finally brings it forward for the Czechs to Raczynski. Oh, wide open pass here. They set up Baranek. He goes in and he scores.
You can see that coming. Baranek was way up past center ice when the puck was still inside the Czechoslovakian zone. And with a couple of good passes, he broke way out. I mean, way out. And you'll take a look and you'll see him way past center ice, and he's got a breakaway from the blue line in. A little fake with a stick blade, and he found the short side with Bill Ranford. Watch the stick blade go over the puck here. What, right there, slow down, little change of pace, into the stick side, beating Bill Ranford. So the Czechs score their second goal, now trailed by 3.
Josef Baranek getting his first goal of this Canada Cup Series. Makes it 5-2. The Czechs still trail by 3. 4:40 left in the second period. See if this gives a little life to Czechoslovakia now. Leo Gudas, the defenseman.
They like the open ice here more than anything, Don, with 2 players in the penalty box. The ice opened up, the passes were made.
Here's Gretzky now hitting the blue line, grabbing it for Smith. Tried to feed Larmer, couldn't get it to him. You're right, this gives the appearance of the larger European rink with fewer people out there for the moment of the offsetting penalties. Sweeping the net is Kron, digging it out in front. Loose puck in the Canadian zone, and it's cleared back to center ice. Gretzky forechecking for Canada. Gudas brings it away with a pass on the right side to Seeger. Smith defending to Desjardins. 25 seconds left in those 2 penalties. Gretzky. Larmer shoots it to him into the corner. Wayne can't catch up. Team Canada will change on the move now. Seeger against Courtnall. Gudas. He gets bumped across the line. Courtnall in behind his net for Stevens. Now the 2 penalized players come back on the ice. Slager and McInnes. Everybody at full strength. Courtnall Trying to get around a defender. Prekar at the blue line. Can't do it. Stevens with it. Flips it off on the left side for Corson. Corson centering it. And on the angle, it was redirected by Hasek. That goal by Czechoslovakia was just on their third shot of the second period. Overall, they have been outshot 21-12 by Team Canada and outscored 5-2. 3 minutes left in this period, the second. This is Jagr. Courtnall rescues it for Canada. Kastic watching him. He is one of the 2 Czechoslovakian goals tonight. Robitaille in front, nobody there.
Hasek's an adventure, isn't he?
Takes some chances.
He does.
Fleury gets turned around. Now copy of trouble occurring against Kastic. Murphy feeds it ahead for Luc Robitaille. The LA Kings to Fleury. Theo Fleury closing in with a shot. Hasek there to block down to the short side as he hugs the post. Yuri Slager on the near boards. Relayed by Pivonka rink wide. Now Robitaille with a chance at the blue line. Swings it inside. McInnes tried to make the play, and he couldn't quite get it past the defender. 2 minutes to go here in the second period. Here is Pivonka getting a shot away. Closing in on Billy Ranford. Harachuk trying to feed Fleury. Number 15, Richard Zemlika now makes the play. Zemlika closing in a backhand drive glove by Ranford with 1:45 to go. It remains Canada 5, Czechoslovakia 2. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV. Well, Mike Keenan has to be a little frustrated. He saw his team grab a quick lead, and the Czechs have come back a little bit now.
Started this morning with the team's practice. The Zamboni was out here on the ice surface to resurface after the Czechoslovakian team had practiced, but it broke down. And as Team Canada practiced, there was a Zamboni stuck on the ice. And you've often heard people say, especially some broadcasters, Don, say that defenseman looked like a Zamboni out there. Well, there was one.
They had to skate around it as best they could.
Yeah, that's it.
1 minute and 35 seconds remaining in the second period. Desjardins. Squeezing it down the ice. Graham gets cut off as he tries to go into the corner by Bacha. Tocchet couldn't quite get it. Pivonka. Right wing. Zemlika. Here's the shot. Didn't get all the way through. Desjardins picks it up. And there's a net off its moorings and the stoppage in play with 1 minute and 7 to go here in the period. Much more to come from the Forum in Montreal tonight as Canada cruises in on a third win and 7 points out of a possible 8 in their first 4 games here in the Canada Cup with a 5-2 lead over Czechoslovakia. Sutter directing traffic out there as he prepares for the face-off against Czechoslovakia's Josef Baranek.
Sutter positioning everybody. He's a fine centerman face-off artist. He spends a lot of time working with Shane Corson, who's taken a number of draws in this tournament for Wayne Gretzky. Sutter teaching the other centermen about face-offs.
Sutter must have an exceptionally high success percentage in this tournament winning draws. Can't recall too many he has lost. Desjardins keeping it alive at the point. Swings around Palfi. Lets the shot go. A weak one, but it's gloved by Hasek.
There's another example, Don, of 3 Czechoslovakian players cruising out to go after 1 Canadian player, and that was Desjardins, the defenseman. And if that puck wasn't so high that he put towards the goaltender so the goalie could grab it and freeze it, I mean, there's people open. 3 players going after 1 player in your defensive zone doesn't work too often. This guy's a character, by the way, Hasek. He had to do some mandatory military service in Czechoslovakia, as all the young men did at his time. They said that it may change him. He's a bit of a free spirit. Everybody that knew Hasek said, no, he may change the army.
Stevens with a blast, and that just misses the target. Murphy will feed it down the boards. Shanahan in behind as Gretzky can't control the bouncing puck, and it slides to center ice with 35 seconds to go in the period. Stevens circling back at his own blue line. Murphy flipping it down from center ice. Now 20 seconds remaining. Usul shooting it down the ice for the Czechs with 15 seconds to go in the period, and Murphy has it for Canada.
Another crunching check. This time Shanahan hit Palffy, who went to the bench, and I think he's maybe asking for the Excedrin. He got crunched.
Extra strength. Period ends 5-2. Canada still leading Czechoslovakia 7-5. Not much offense. Shots on goal favoring Canada in the period. 23-14 on the night, but they still hold a 3-goal bulge.
It wasn't a classic period by any means, but I think, again, it's human nature for a team to let down a little bit when they have such a one-sided lead.
Well, you tend to relax a little bit, and the Czechs came back on them, and the lead for Team Canada is 5-2 after 40 minutes of play. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
Day throughout the night. 2 goals in the second period here in Montreal. Wayne Gretzky, his 3rd of the tournament, 2nd of the game, 34 seconds into the period. Josef Baranek with the Czechoslovakian goal at 15-14. Team Canada outshooting the Czechs 23-14. They lead 5-2 after 2. Bill Clement, sometimes Team Canada can be prone to lapses. What happened in the second?
Well, they've opened up such great leads in every game that they are bound to have their lapses. But I think one thing is becoming very evident. Mike Keenan's strategy is starting to work. The strategy of how he and his coaching staff built this team. Very quietly, they have become an outstanding defensive team. They've allowed 2 goals against the Finns, then 3 against Team USA, 1 against Team Sweden, and 2 here this evening. So through just about 4 games, they have allowed only 8 goals. And he was soundly criticized for some of his early cuts, including Joe Sakic, and then when Steve Yzerman didn't play. But I think Mike Keenan's getting the results that he wants from his team. Very good defensively.
All right, we'll see if that holds true in this 3rd period. Here's Don and John.
All right, the puck once again slides where it's been much of the time tonight of the Czechoslovakian end of the ice in the Montreal Forum. Team Canada takes a 3-goal lead to the final 20 minutes of play here in their 4th appearance in this 91 Labatt Canada Cup. Long lead pass for Jagger, reaches the blue line but not beyond. Now the Czechs bring it back in again. Kastic fakes the shot and then digs the backhand out. Ranford out to meet him and block that and cut off the angle. Czechoslovakia looking for a quick goal that they feel might get them right back into business here. Back on the point. Gudas shooting, deflected way up. 20 rows high in the Montreal Forum.
Good time for a quick whistle for Team Canada. Billy Ranford had lost his goal stick during the Czechoslovakian rush. As we have some words between Corson and Musil. Here you see the play where Ranford moves out on Kastic, takes away all the shooting angles. The stick here gets lost. As Ranford played it very smartly. Kastic had no one to pass the puck to. Ranford read the play and moved out at the shooter. Quick start for the Czechoslovakian team here in the 3rd period.
John, how do you figure this Labatt Canada Cup 1991? The 3 typically strong European entries, the Soviets, the Czechs, and the Swedes, look to be the weakest. The underdog, almost a throw-in. Finland is the dominant European team, and of the top 3, 2, it seems, almost surely will miss the semifinal.
Well, one of the main things, without question, is the fact that Ketterer has given Finland some fabulous goaltending. The teams can ride goaltending in a short tournament.
Finns behind Ketterer beat Sweden 3-1 again today. 5 points in the tournament they have. Desjardins drives that down to the Czechoslovakian zone. Fleury on the far boards keeps it alive for Canada. Here's Lindros again. Bluebirds once more greet him every time he touches the puck here in the Montreal Forum tonight. Snelik works the near side now as the Czechs bring it up the ice. Jelinek around to the far side. Zemilka in there. Fleury winning it for Canada.
Mike Keenan having some fun with his lines. 3 natural centermen on the ice now. And a penalty coming up.
All right, we'll get to that in just a moment. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV. Battle of Calgary Flame. Theo Fleury off for roughing at 1:10 here in the 3rd period.
He doesn't play the game to win friends. He plays the game to win games. And this time he got caught. And a roughing penalty. Over in the corner. On the far side. Fleury gets caught.
Sure that was roughing or an attempted mugging over in the corner. Messier in the draw for Canada against Michael Pivonka. The Washington Capitals centering this line for Czechoslovakia. Messier shoots it back inside the Czech zone. It took until tonight for Czechoslovakia to score on the power play. They've gone 0 for 17 until they got to the Montreal Forum. Icing here, though, and that's not very well executed. The face-off's back in their zone.
Well, the feeling with this Czechoslovakian club, and the coaches are upset now. They get caught with an icing here while on the power play, but they just don't have an offensive leader to lead their power play. Most power plays, Don, if you think about them, have good defensemen to lead them. Al McInnes.
A leader like this man used to be.
Exactly. Brian Leach can lead a power play. This club, this particular club, does not, and it's bothered them throughout the tournament. The person from the blue line, Goodaz, has the best shot of the defenseman, the hardest shot, and he's on the bench right now.
Canada has shown strength in shorthanded situations before. Burned Sweden for 2 on 1 single infraction in Maple Leaf Gardens the other night. Gotcha now forced to circle. Watched by Messier. Graham also forechecking for Team Canada. Czechs flip it down to the Canadian corner. Stevens collecting it in behind.
That whole play was almost senseless. They had no quarterback out of the Czech zone. They dumped it in without purpose. And Canada had no problems getting it out.
Gotcha left wing for Pabaka. Messier intercepts and very easily clears the zone. 1:10 left in Fleury's penalty.
The twosome on the ice now up front. Larmer and Gretzky have been on the ice for all the shorthanded goals for Team Canada. And that's 3 of them.
And Larmer stole the puck there, but it's whistled down. Looks like over 2 lines right at center ice. Gretzky inquiring as to why they would do that with Canada in possession, but the faceoff will come at the Czech blue line.
Larmer talks about playing with Gretzky on the same line, even when they kill penalties. Gretzky's a centerman who loves to carry the puck through the neutral zone, and when that happens, if you're the winger, just get to the net and get to the net with your stick on the ice, because Gretzky, with his great passing abilities, will try and find his wingers. Larmer and Gretzky have clicked nicely in this tournament.
Baranek with Gretzky on the faceoff. Wayne wins that. McInnes will shoot it down. The Czechs have Baranek, Palpy, and Ruchinsky up front in this power play attempt here with 50 seconds to go remaining in the penalty for little Theo Fleury. At the blue line, they head them off again. The Czechs have to go back and regroup in the center ice area. Shot to the corner. Gretzky and Thacker in pursuit. Over on the near side for Palpy. He falls, trying to get away from Larmer. Hasek out to clear it himself. 20 seconds to go in a very ineffective Czechoslovakian power play. This somewhat tedious pace they start in the second period here in the third continues. No shots over 3 minutes into this third period. And now another Canadian penalty has expired. Fleury out of the penalty box almost in time to get to the puck. Just beating him to it was Yuri Slager. Czechs now changing as they go. Ruchinsky is a brink right over on the far side for Yuri Slager. Picked up by Courtnall. Courtnall with Corson, and the Montreal combo almost clicks. Rebound, and Corson gets a shot away, blocked by Hasek.
Canada picking off the cross-ice passes. That last one by Slager set up the 2 scoring chances for Team Canada.
Courtnall will dig it out of his own zone, and he sends Desjardins away across the blue line with Corson. Lindros in front, shooting. Rebound. Big Lindros sweeps it around. Did he poke it in? No, it somehow stays out.
Another quarter of a step for Lindros. He would have had time to jam it in.
Almost 6-2. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV. Of course, in this game, as he has been with the pros, and his first exposure to it in every Canada Cup game.
As you'll see Lindros get the puck. He'll battle for it here, then try the wraparound. A little impatient. Another half a step. Actually, credit Hasek with a pretty good play keeping it out, too. Lindros actually did get the shot, and there was room. And Hasek made the save. When Hasek was playing with the national team in Czechoslovakia one year, they went on a tour through Germany and into the French Alps. Well, he bought some mountain climbing equipment, Don. His first climb, he fell about 15 feet. The mountain climbing equipment was found in a garbage can the next day.
Short career.
$300 worth. He is a character.
Murphy bumping on the boards, getting it high to Robitaille, and Udis is there first for Czechoslovakia. Kron Now Gudis, puck is behind him, and they have to go back to their own zone to try to regroup here. A little over 4 minutes gone in the third period. Remains 5-2 for Canada. Robitaille flipping it to the doorstep of Dominik Hasek. Canada trying to steal it. Czechs clear the zone.
They did. Sutter just moved in, pushed Musil right off the puck, and the Canadians controlled it.
Now Gudis getting it out to Lubomir Kolnik. Musil ahead of the blue line. It slides for the Team Canada corner. Ranford leading it for Stevens. Past Harachuk. Number 7, Richard Smelek, chasing it at his own zone. Rather aimless play, back and forth here. Nothing concerted, nothing organized whatsoever.
Just watch the Czechs' first pass. Every time the Czechoslovakian club gets the puck to come out of their zone, they make the pass, and about 40% of them are clicking, and that's not very many.
Now Al McInnes past the 5-minute mark of the final period. His team ahead 5-2, having scored 2 of the goals. Feeds Harachuk. Harachuk closing in. Score! And it's 6-2 Canada.
Now there was a pretty good pass out of the zone, and then Dirk Graham sets up Harachuk. Shanahan just drove to the net on the far side of the ice. He just absolutely drove to the net, and when he did that, it allowed a one-on-one confrontation. There you'll see Dirk Graham's fine pass to a fast-skating Harachuk. On the other side, Shanahan drives to the net. That means one-on-one, and Harachuk beat the goaltender rather easily with the one-on-one play. Fake shot. Now look at the room open up. Hasek commits early. Dale Harachuk, with all of his experience, made it look rather easy.
Graham set it up. The time is 5:29. Team Canada leads 6-2. And now as we come up on the 6-minute mark of the period, the Czechoslovakian team, who even had a power play along the way, still does not have a shot on goal. There's one from outside the blue line off the blocker of Bill Ranford. The Czechs in a deep hole. They've been there much of the night. Canada scored the first 4 goals of the game. Here comes Gretzky. Gretzky walking into the corner, turned around by Kamil Packard.
It's an example of how Gretzky likes to skate through the neutral zone, so it's up to the wingers to get into position to receive a pass.
Little Fleury bumping on the boards. Bounces to Gretzky with Larmer and Fleury. 3-on-2. They approach the Czechoslovakian line. Gretzky threading it through to Fleury. He gets turned around. Larmer half falling on the play, and the Czechs will clear. Teams changing now as Smith lets it fly from outside the blue line. Cleared away by Praka. Punching check by Lindros. The Czechoslovakian player is down and in pain. He was hammered by Eric Lindros over on the far boards.
He was crushed.
This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV. Level, the Czechoslovakian player into the far boards a moment ago, and he is still down. Looks like number 16, Martin Ruchinski.
He's an Edmonton Oiler property through the draft, and he was in no man's land here, Don. He was a defenseman. He moves the puck, and Lindros just finished the check. But with the player Ruchinski turning, he was then crushed accordion style into the glass and boards. And he was reaching back towards his lower back. There you see him holding his arm, and perhaps with that view, it looks like it could be a shoulder problem as they are supporting his right arm. I don't, of course, that's speculation, but he was just punished by Lindros, and what was a clean check. He just finished the check on the player. And another player down. He hit Ulf Samuelsson in the last game. Samuelsson will be out for 6 weeks with a shoulder problem, including the first 5 Pittsburgh Penguin games to start the National Hockey League season. Slager and Musil were having words with Lindros. Boy, oh boy.
Boy, he holds his ground, doesn't he, Rod? Ivan Helinka, the coach of the Czechoslovakian team, deep down inside would acknowledge that was a clean, fair check made by Eric Lindros on his player, Martin Ruchinski, despite the physical price Ruchinski's had to pay.
Minor penalties have been handed out, or at least penalties handed out to Slager and Tocchet for getting involved during the stoppage.
Players from both teams milling around. A couple of Czechoslovakian players trying to get at Lindros with high sticks.
The Canadian club, Don, now put some big boys on the ice. Messier, Desjardins, Smith, and Lindros stays out there. There's some size. They will play 4-on-4. Now the Czechoslovakian club has a goal scored at 4-on-4. Canadian club, of their 4 players, had 3 forwards and 1 defenseman.
The penalties to Czechoslovakia number 24, Iri Slager. To Team Canada number 22, Rick Tuckett, 2 minutes each for unsportsmanlike conduct at 6 minutes 47 seconds.
The offsetting penalties, the 4 aside plus goaltenders here. A little more maneuverability on this ice as Pavanka lets a shot go, blocked by Billy Ranford. Desjardins feeding it off to Messier now. Here's Big Lindros. The boos cascade around the Montreal Forum again, as Lindros just plays his game and gets tougher and tougher as the night wears on. Messier takes the pass at the line, feeds Lindros, shooting, and it's stopped by Hasek.
And Lindros has everybody thinking about hockey in this building again.
Referee Dennis LaRue has called a penalty, and now they're milling around out there. This is the Levant Canada Cup on CTV. Czechoslovakia is going to get a penalty. Veteran Frank Musil to the box, and then the wild melee started after that. Some near fighting broke out here in the Forum. Of course, you fight in this game, you're gone.
But you know what's going to happen when Eric Lindros turns pro in the National Hockey League? He's going to be challenged. If he hits like he hits here, the gloves will fly. And they tell me he's one tough guy. He can handle himself, but he will, without a doubt, be challenged.
Here's the infraction. Musil, number 4.
Reaches out, grabs a hold of Lindros.
Not sure what that was all about right there.
Looked rather harmless.
But he gets 2 minutes.
Certainly got the adrenaline flowing of Team Canada for the first time in a while.
Here's a better look at it.
Lindros moving in. Musil with a bump. That looked rather harmless again.
Now another Canadian's gone to the penalty box, Smith. So 2 of each team in that very small Montreal Forum penalty box. Mike Keenan, Team Canada's coach, has a 4-goal bulge here with 12.5 minutes left.
Speaking of Team Canada, Canada's Olympic team returned late last night from a 13-game tour of Europe. They won 10, lost 2, tied 1. For Dave King and the crew, a pretty good job.
Here are the penalties.
2 minutes pour Rides, le numéro 25, Thomas Zelinek. 2 minutes pour Slangley. À l'équipe Canada, le numéro 5, Steve Smith. 2 minutes pour Rides. À 5 minutes 28 secondes. The penalties to Team Czechoslovakia number 4, František Busil, 2 minutes for roughing. Number 25, Thomas Zelinek, 2 minutes for slashing. And to Team Canada number 5, Steve Smith, 2 minutes for roughing at 7 minutes 28 seconds.
So a third Czechoslovakian player, Thomas Jelinek, is going to come to the penalty box. He gets a slashing penalty. 3 Czechoslovakians and 2 Canadians.
Here's number 25. This is the slash that set up everything. Two-hander across the waist of Lindros. That's what got everybody involved. The temper started to flare somewhat. It was from that slash.
Did you see with that slash, Lindros held his ground and took the shot. Turned away, undeterred.
Now Gretzky had just finished talking to the referee regarding who comes out of the penalty box and when, and how many people will be, as far as man advantage goes. It is still a power play situation for Team Canada. I believe will be a 4-on-3.
Faceoff is going to come right where it all began, to the left of Dominik Hasek.
Matthew Schneider just signed a brand new contract today for the Montreal Canadiens. A 3-year contract plus an option, 4 years worth. So that's not bad. Congratulations to to him. And there you see Serge Savard with his daughter. And he's the man that signed Matthew Schneider. Of course, Serge Savard, the general manager of Montreal's club. I think they're trying to, right now, Don, figure out who comes out of the penalty box and when will the power play be. Different rules with international hockey than what we see with the National Hockey League. So it's now a situation where the referee is over at the timekeeper's box and he's explaining it to the off-ice officials.
Well, I would let out. First of all, you got the offsetting penalties to take care of. 1:19 left in those to Slager and to Tocchet. Then you get down to the one that just happened now, a 2-minute sentence for Smith, and 2 Czechoslovakian penalties to Musil for 2 and to Jelinek for 2 minutes.
What it'll be now is a 3-on-3 until the 2 minutes expire, and then Team Canada will have a power play if there's no other penalties.
Well, we'll be heading to Quebec City. Team Canada, in fact, will leave after this game tonight, Eastern Time. Check for it where you live. Soviets tonight in a hole against Team USA in Chicago, still trailing to the Americans 2-0. Now Gretzky for Coffey. Coffey backhands it just off target.
This reminds you of the old Edmonton Oiler days. Coffey and Gretzky with lots of open ice.
A lot of skating could be expected here. Jurgis Bacha for Czechoslovakia. Getting some help now from Jágr of the Pittsburgh Penguins. Jágr skates back out to center ice with it. 3 aside for about 50 seconds. Then Team Canada will have the advantage on the power play. Coffey at center ice to Gretzky. Gretzky inside the line. Turning, he will make the play. He let the shot go, and Hasek came out to redirect that off his pads. Smelik brings it forward now for Czechoslovakia. Czech player taken down. Bacha in return. A Canadian player got dumped back. They come 2-on-1. Gretzky and McInnes to McInnes. And out comes sliding Hasek to stop McInnes from a hat trick tonight. Just 10 seconds to go on those offsetting penalties. Canada's power play about to come onto the ice. Here's Gretzky still with it. Feeding it inside the blue line to Murphy. Big Murphy. Cross to the far corner. Coffey headed for the bench. Comes back to take it now. The 2 penalties have expired, so Canada's got the edge. Here's Murphy. Hasek blocks that. Murphy moving in for the rebound. It was picked up by number 18, Jurgis Bacha. Less than 11 minutes to go in the third period. 6-2 for Canada over Czechoslovakia.
Gretzky still on the ice. This is about 2 minutes 30 seconds straight now.
Takes the pass from Murphy. Has Stevens and Fleury with him. Feeds Stevens. Now down to Fleury on the left boards. Stevens shot. Hasek feeds the rebound out. Pouncing on that is Murphy. Getting it to Gretzky. Now back to Murphy in the corner again. The defenseman in there being pinned by Packard. Smith comes back on the ice along with Musil.
So it's now a 5-on-4 Canadian power play for the next 1 minute 14 seconds.
I'll be sure to stay tuned right after the game for the Apple Autoglass Canada game highlight. Apple Autoglass saves you money on stone chip windshield repair.
I'll guarantee you Wayne Gretzky knew Al McInnes has 2 goals, perhaps a hat trick coming up. And he's going down the ice here, 2-on-1 with McInnes. And Gretzky, he knows when somebody's got 2, and if he gets a chance to try and set up the guy's third. Al McInnes was robbed by Hasek. So we still have a Canadian power play here. 1:14 remaining on that power play. And Lindros back on the ice.
Jelinek remaining in the penalty box. The minute 14 left to serve. Harachuk with Fleury. And big Eric Lindros, who goes in behind the net for the puck now. For Fleury. Now Stevens. Fleury again, feeding Stevens. Lets the shot go, and it goes off Lindros into the corner. Here's Seeger from Czechoslovakia, stealing it inside the line. Seeger being bumped by Harachuk, trying to carry on now. Harachuk picks it up for Team Canada, and he comes away with Fleury on his left, Lindros on his right. Dumping it off to Fleury, looking for Lindros in front. Stevens cruising as well. The puck winds up behind them. Lindros, Stevens, and behind Harachuk. Still hard to conceive that hockey fans of this country would boo one of their own players in an international game, but consistently. Lindros gets booed. He feeds Murphy. Murphy shoots, and Hasek hangs on for the save. The young man has played very well under intense pressure from what should be his own fans.
No, maybe they all drove down from Quebec City. I don't know. Hasek's been very good here, by the way, and it's sort of getting lost as Canada has a 6-2 lead, and Hasek is stopping it from being 7-8 or 9-2. Lindros powers his way through. Two defensemen here to make the play. Look at the size difference. And he, at the same time, was able to read that Murphy was joining the play. Beautiful, beautiful setup for a wonderfully skilled player in Eric Lindros.
Like a Zamboni driving between two motorcycles. He is an imposing figure on the ice.
With motorcycle speed.
Sutter on the faceoff. Czechoslovakia picking it up now. Less than 9.5 minutes to go in the hockey game, and Canada leading from the outset has a 6-2 lead right now. Robitaille dumping it off for Korto. Hasek came out, thought better of it, goes back to his cage. Korto on the near boards. Jagger picks it up for Czechoslovakia, and they clear it back down the ice. Back on the ice comes Jelinek, and the Czechs are at full strength. Icing, though, is called as he steps on. They'll have a face-off back in the Czechoslovakian zone. This is the Levant Canada Cup on CTV. And John Davidson with you in the Montreal Forum with the final 9:09 remaining on the board and a 6-2 Team Canada lead. Sutter settling in for the face-off to the right of Dominik Hasek. Sutter to Smith from the face-off of the Czechoslovakian zone. Kortl tries to win control. Now Pabaka comes forward for the red-shirted Czechs with a shot that sails wide of Billy Ranford's goal. Jelinek gets it away from Smith. Smith checks it away in the corner for Desjardins. Robitaille now watching Zorinka, and the Czechoslovakian team frustrated all night. Outshot, outscored, outplayed by Canada. Trails by 4 goals here in the Montreal Forum. Luke Robitaille, the LA Kings, in the near boards. Welcome, viewers, watching on Sports Channel America, that U.S.-Soviet game from Chicago tonight. Here's Robitaille getting dumped as he tried to get the shot. He gets hooked up by Zemlika. Now, here is Jelinek getting a chance. He overskates the puck inside the Canadian zone. Back comes Sutter with Korto. To Sutter. He overskates it. And it's collected by Yuri Slager. Flipping it back to the Canadian corner. A bounce to Ranford. He turns it aside for Al McInnes. McInnes with a couple of goals tonight and many chances for the hat trick. Since the first period, rather sloppy action with no great purpose or direction to it for the most part. McInnes riding his Czechoslovakian winger off into the corner, but the Czechs maintain the pressure here. Number 23 centering it. Palfi set back to the corner. Now Slager's shot. That's redirected off the glass in behind. And Brendan Shanahan comes away for Canada with 7 minutes and 40 seconds to go in the hockey game. For Messier. Person cruising in front. Messier circles Coffey's blast, and Hasek hung on to that on a hard drive from Paul Coffey.
Don, a few moments ago, we saw the Czechoslovakian team moving up ice, but watch this man for Canada. It's Brent Sutter. He doesn't face this way. He'll turn around and watch this man who is his Czech. Now watch Sutter back check, turn around and pick him up. If we stop it again, we'll see now that the two Canadian defensemen can go after this player, but Sutter, away from the puck, slows that man right down. Well, even though Sutter gets knocked down here, Sutter has bought enough time for his team to help get the puck out of the zone. Sutter's a wonderfully skilled defensive player, smart, concentrating player away from the puck.
Here's Corson picking it up from Messier on the faceoff, centering it past Shanahan out in front. Seeger for Czechoslovakia now. We'll drop it back on the far side as the Czechs finally bring the puck forward. A little over 7 minutes to go. Forechecking by Corson wins it to Shanahan for Canada. Brendan Shanahan now across the ice. Intercepted by the Czechs, and Leo Gudas skates to the Canadian blue line, but not beyond. Blocked right there. Kolnick carries on. His shot blocked by Ranford. Rebound. Shot by Seegers turned away. And here's Corson digging it free on the right side for Canada. Shanahan. As the Czechs clear the zone, Seeger at center ice now, less than 7 minutes to go. Kron. Ranford turns that away to the corner. Al McInnes to Eric Lindros. Leo Gudas, the defenseman for Czechoslovakia. Brings some skating room on the right side, flicks it down to the corner. In behind the play, it's whistled down by the referee, Dennis Leroux. Another penalty coming up here with Canada ahead 6-2. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV. Dennis Seeger is in the penalty box. High sticking is the call of 13-19.
You'll see Seeger get caught up here with Shane Corson, and watch Seeger stick a couple of times there. The blade clips the side of the face of Shane Corson, so it's Team Canada power play time, and Dirk Graham getting a chance on the power play here for Canada.
Jagger almost got a chance there. Lindros gets tripped up, and the puck is left for Dirk Graham with the Chicago Blackhawks. He circles the net past Jagger. Stevens has difficulty. Murphy in there to help him out. Pass to Graham at center ice. Left for Lindros. Bluebirds again greet him as he crosses the blue line of Czechoslovakia. The Czechs clear the zone. A little over 6 minutes left now. 6-2 for the Canadians, looking for their third win and well on their way toward that with one tie in the Labatt Canada Cup of 1991. Here's Scott Stevens with Tocchet and Lindros. Lindros makes the pass back out. Murphy turning, Tocchet serving across to the other side, and there's nobody there. Graham now with it. Canada with a manpower advantage and the Czech penalty. 1:10 left in Seeger's high-sticking sentence. Stevens for Tocchet. Graham centers in front. Tocchet couldn't get a good shot away. Back to Stevens, left point. He feeds it in the slot. Back to Graham now. Graham lets his shot go. Loose in front, rebound, and Lindros almost set up Tocchet. Eric Lindros. Off a skate, still in the zone. Murphy letting the shot go. That's redirected in front. Lindros shooting it wide, getting a second chance, shooting it wide again. Now with a blast, blocked by the Czech defense, and they finally clear to center ice.
Whenever there's a loose puck and one of the opposition players is near Lindros, Lindros still finds a way to get his stick blade on the puck. He has quick hands for a big young man.
The Czechs golf it down the ice and get a chance for a player change in the process. Less than 5 minutes to go in the hockey game now. Canada ahead by 4 at 6-2. Larmer's flying on the right wing. Coffey takes the pass. Coffey shoots it. He got a weak one away wide. Missed on the short side. Coffey collects it back on the left point for Team Canada. Shooting it down in that corner. Kept alive by Fleury. Back on the ice is Seeger, the penalized player, coming right after McInnes, the point man, and the Czechs win the puck. At the blue line, Pivonka makes the play inside for Seeger. Seeger got turned around, couldn't get a shot away.
Now McInnes broke his stick right in half as he cross-checked the Czechoslovakian player, and will get a penalty for it.
So the Czechs will get a late power play with 4:21 to play in the hockey game.
McInnes will move across as Seeger moves in. You'll see a cross-check across the shoulder and arms, and McInnes' stick was fractured on the play.
Full view of referee Dennis LaRue of the United States. A cross-checking penalty at 15:39.
This Czechoslovakian power play, 1 for 4 tonight, pardon me. Not good in the series. And here they go with 3 offensive players, a forward line of not what are noted as their best offensive players.
As you look ahead to the possible Labatt player of the game for Team Canada, you of course consider Gretzky. You also consider Al McInnes for his fine play in this hockey game in Montreal.
I agree with you on that one. Al McInnes, he's in the penalty box. Could be the guy winning it in this one.
Another tough choice. Ahead comes Baranek inside the blue line, feeding Kasten. His pass got through Palffy. In behind number 19, Baranek trying to get the play back to the point. They do. Played by Musil down. Gudis from the right side. His shot. Ranford to a screen rebound. Ranford gets to that one too from Palffy on a hard rebound blast. 3 minutes and 40 seconds left. Czechs buzzing on this power play. Looking for a little respectability here, at least for the third goal, down 6-2. And overwhelmed by Team Canada much of this night. Gudis now tries to center it, and Larmer intercepts and clears the zone for Canada. A minute left in the Canadian penalty. Al McInnes off for cross-checking. Messier bumped along the boards by Leo Gudis. Portnoy now comes in to help out. Seeger leaves it there. Czechs get a second chance. Throws pass. Seeger's shot turned away by Bill Ranford. Another high sticking call from referee Dennis LaRue. Circling in beside and behind the Canadian net. He just bring it back down the ice.
Icing call, I believe.
Icing call. Yes. He indicated high sticking, but he brings it back down simply for a face-off next to the Czechoslovakian goal.
33 seconds remaining in Al McInnes's minor. I think everybody can start looking ahead. Bill Ranford in particular, along with Eric Lindros, to the trip to Quebec City. And a showdown with the Soviets. And the Soviets could be on a very important game for them as to whether they make the playoffs or not.
Must game. They've only one win. Headed for a loss tonight in Chicago against the Americans. Sweden, upset by Finland today, has only one win. Czechoslovakia has only got 2 points from one victory. That was over the Soviets, ironically. They're about to lose once again here tonight to Team Canada. Falling on the shot was Smilik. Gets a second chance at the blue line. A dozen seconds left in the Al McInnes penalties. Smilik gathers it in again, tries to play it down the near boards, being watched by Stevens, and Graham clears. Now here's McInnes stepping back from his penalty. Cross-checking. Prime for Czechoslovakia. 2:15 to go. Seeger gives it away to Graham, and he tries to make the lead pass up the ice. Can't find his man at center ice. Dale Harachuk. Through Shanahan as the puck slides in behind the Team Canada goal. 2 minutes and 2 seconds remaining. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV. 6-2 with 2:02 to go in the Montreal Forum tonight. Settling in for a face-off in the Czech zone is Eric Lindros. Robitaille and Shanahan out on the ice with him. Smith and Desjardins on defense for Canada. Canada got the first 4 goals of the game. Never did have to look back against Czechoslovakia tonight. Czechs looking very inept much of the way. Desjardins too far for Lindros. Packard shooting it back inside Canada's blue line with 1:35 to go. Smith there to get ahead of Jagr and recover. Picked up by the Czechoslovakian player Reichel. He's turned aside. Puck sliding into the Czech zone. Icing is waved off. Robitaille for checking. Reichel. He'll go to the bench after blasting it down behind Ranford. Shanahan for Team Canada. Checked by Slager going down to the corner there. The Czechoslovakian player lost his stick a minute to go in the hockey game. Canada's got this one on ice. Coming ahead on the left side for the Czechs. Play right in front of Ranford out of thin air. Like a magician flicks the puck.
Oh, how pretty it looked.
The Soviet.
Quite a battle there at the stadium, and this one is almost over here with 49 seconds remaining. Team Canada cruising toward win number 3 in the Labatt Canada Cup. Jelinek fighting for it against Stevens. Now McInnes being watched by Ruchinski. It's back out for Team Canada. Lead pass for Corson. Misses him. And it's shot in on the offside. Bring it back for a face-off with 37 seconds remaining in the Canadian zone.
Well, Shane Corson was talking about the play of Eric Desjardins, who was a teammate here in Montreal and they played during the regular NHL season. And he said whenever he heard that Desjardins was going to be on this team, he said that he would be able to make this club. Look at Ranford here. Reach out. Zemlicka was robbed. Ranford, great concentration tonight considering the amount of work he's had.
Somehow got back to the puck. Stevens, Tocchet. Corson can't get the pass. Gudas back inside Canada's blue line with 25 seconds to go in the hockey game. Off the stick of Sutter. Corson chasing it down to the corner with 15 seconds to go. This is Stevens shooting. Blocked by Jelinek stick. Horson try to center for Sutter. Sutter moves in, can't get the shot away. Just 3 seconds left now. The game will end over there in the Czechoslovakian corner, with Team Canada having defeated Czechoslovakia soundly by a score of 6-2 tonight, and they've outshot them 36-23.
A 4-goal win, another fine explosion. They've now outscored the opposition 11-1 during the first periods of this tournament, and on top of that, they knocked 2 Czech players right out of the game physically. A very, very emotional, tough game that Canada played physically.
And they may have knocked the Czechoslovakian team right out of this Canada Cup tournament. They still have only one win. They're in precarious playoff position. Shots on goal, third period, 13-9, and the final shots on goal, as you mentioned, 36-23. Just a total dominating performance by Team Canada over Czechoslovakia, as the Canadians, with their fast start again, their third in a row, just too much for the Czechs to handle. So we'll get ready now for the presentations, the Player of the Game awards to the top performers on each team here in the Montreal Forum tonight. McInnes, Gretzky, well, we'll hear that choice in just a moment on tonight's work by Team Canada.
The Labatt Player of the Game for Team Czechoslovakia receives an Inuit carving courtesy of Canadian Tire. Le vainqueur, the winner, le numéro 18, number 18, Jurgis Baka. Pour l'équipe Canada, celui-ci recevra une caméra Canon Futura. The winner for Team Canada will receive a Canon Futura camera. Le numéro 99, 99, Wayne Gretzky.
The two players of the game salute each other at center ice. Hartford Whaler, Jurgis Baka, the player of the game for Czechoslovakia. The Labatt's Blue player of the game for the third straight game for Team Canada. The great one, Wayne Gretzky, 2 goals and an assist in the 6-2 victory for Team Canada tonight here in the Montreal Forum. This is the 1991 Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
Hockey Canada and Labatt, thank you for your attendance and invite you to